It's the spatter that created the magic. Hey guys, it's TerraCotta. Today we are going to be painting a seahorse. Now when I painted this seahorse, I created a mood with a lot of spatter. And I started with spatter at the beginning of the painting. And I ended with spatter. So I'm going to show you how I created the mood and painted the seahorse step by step. Now I do want to retain a lot of the white of the paper, so I'm not painting everything, but I am remembering that the top of the paper or the top of the sea is going to be lighter and the bottom will be darker. And this is the creation of the sea. Now, if this were a placid sea, we could stop with one layer. But we want energy and we want movement and we want color around that seahorse. And so, I add a second layer, and this time I'm painting wet into wet. And those colors are bleeding, and it's a natural flow of water and movement of a vibrant and energetic sea. Once we get the background down, we can start painting in the seahorse. But we don't have to wait for that background to dry because the seahorse is in the sea and it's part of the sea, and so if the colors merge a little bit, no problem. It will look natural. So for this first layer of the seahorse, I'm just color mapping. I lightly put down a little bit of the color, and if the colors don't bleed out beyond the line, then I can darken some of those edges with a darker blue. If the colors bleed out, I'll just wait until that paper dries a little bit more, and then I can start defining the edges. So far, the colors of the seahorse are all cool colors, and they do tie in the colors of the background. But to make our seahorse pop, we're going to be adding some warm colors on the head. And I will be using the green gold with just maybe a hint of the orange, which I'm introducing now. And then to tie in the warm colors with the cool colors of the background, I'll be adding touches of blue all along the feathers on the spine of our seahorse. pretty good color on the body, and we need to think about how to get some white back. So I'm using some Ecoline ink, and I'm going to be doing two things. The first is I'll be drawing a broken white line all down the seahorse's body, like it's a reflection. And then I'm going to draw in a lot of white dots and spots, kind of like freckles. Just so there's not a lot of predictability in the painting, I'm going to be adding some dark blue and dark green freckles, particularly in the place where there could be a shadow. So we're almost finished with the painting, and I'm looking at it and thinking, perhaps we need a little bit more spatter in the background, and not just white spatter or white bubbles, but some dark contrast. I'm now adding a little bit of dark blue and dark green. I paint it in, and then I also do a spatter. If you notice the fin of that little seahorse, there's a hint of orange there. And now I've decided I'm going to put an orange spatter around that middle part of the seahorse, and that will warm up that central area. So guys, we are about done. The only stage left is to pick out those final contrasts. So I'm going to be looking around, looking where I could put in a little bit more of a defining darker line, or a bit of a shadow, or possibly where I can put in a little bit more white. I think one area that I need white is a little bit more like bubble spatter along the bottom of the ocean. So I'm going to put that there, and maybe a little bit more spatter. Well guys, that wraps up another wonderful watercolor painting. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I hope you guys did too. And guys, if you do like watercolor, consider subscribing. I'll put a link for the watercolor playlist if you're interested. And guys, I'll see you again.